YouTube, what the crap's going on? Heir of Carthage here, coming to you from in between the reeds of the Nile River. Ah, so scenic. No, I got a battle for you. And let me introduce you to my army. I'm going to be playing as the Bactrians today. And my opponent is the Seleucids. So when kind of considering what type of army I should bring, I tried to think about what possible builds the Seleucids can bring, and there's a lot of different builds they can bring. And there's a lot of ways in which the Bactrians are a close matchup with the Seleucids, and then there are a lot of ways which the Bactrians are kind of a better, in my opinion. So I try to bring the things that make them better. So I've got a couple of these Bactrian Noble Horse, and these are, and this is not in Blade's Balance mod, by the way. So these Bactrian Noble Horse are easily better than most melee cav going to be fielded by the Seleucids. Thorax Swords are an equivalent, but I've also got my general here in this Bactrian Nobles, which is like a good hoplite unit with very nice charge. I've got 2 Levy Pikemen, and they're supported by 2 Bactrian Light Horse, 2 Thorax Swords, and an Eastern Spearman in the center. So that'll kind of be, you know, keeping the center held down for me. And then over on this side, I've got, again, 2 more Thorax Swords, 2 Bactrian Noble Horse, and then sneaking through the woods, Golem style, I have some Horse Archers right here. Yes, they're sneaking through some not very thick palm tree woods. So, yeah. But they're sneaking, nonetheless. Let's go see what we can spot from the Seleucids. So my opponent, right off when I see it, he has Silver Shield Pikes. And these guys look really cool, but there's no way that their looks are going to make up for, well, you know what they say? They say if looks could kill, these guys' looks can't kill. Not unless you walk right into the front of them. Now, these guys do have looks that can kill. The Syrian archers are going to be dangerous to me. They're going to outrange me, and you can see that they're already in range. There's Thorax Swords protecting the flanks, and then I see 2 Royal Peltists. Well, 1 in the back. There's likely another. And then I don't see any cavalry present. So right now, this is the view of the battlefield. I'll kind of come out here so you can see that my army has approached. I'm spread wide at an outflanking maneuver, and basically I'm hoping that my opponent can't really overwhelm me at any one given spot, because my goal is to try and get the Horse Archers behind him in a flash and try and create some panic while my infantry potentially moves around the flanks. So you're going to see me here in a moment start issuing the move orders. So right there you can do it. You can see that I've split my army, and I'm now going to start rushing forward to surround my opponent very quickly. And as I surround him, I'll move the Horse Archers here. And then, of course, I'm just looking out for cavalry on both flanks. That's why I'm kind of slow with the Horse Archers, so I send a Scout Cavalry this way. And I have a Scout Cavalry over here, too, and that'll give me better line of sight. So that's kind of how the battle gets initiated. And let's actually kind of take a close-up look here. So, yeah, here's my pikemen approaching the main battle lines. And then the rest of my lines crashing in here. You can actually see the Royal Peltists throwing their javelins from quite a ways off. It's at this point that I go ahead and start moving the Horse Archers and the Light Cavalry around the flanks. My opponent starts trying to fold his flank in order to try and deny me the opportunity to outflank him, which I guess he can do. But all my men are in position and ready to charge. And basically this flank is, now I'm ready to charge too. Now where he has the advantage is in the center. His Silver Shield Pikes versus my Levy Pikemen. That would be a pretty easy fight for his Silver Shield Pikes. But I did this on purpose because the Silver Shield Pikes really aren't capable of fighting offensively. You can see here that my Horse Archers are now scattering arrows in the background, and I did manage to find a couple of cavalry units. I've tagged them with a couple Medians. I'm hitting them with a Bactrian Noble Horse. So basically my opponent is going to get outclassed on the flanks. And now, because that was his only horseman, and he has spent some money on elite infantry, my Horse Archers are going to go completely unobstructed and just fire away. He does have archers up front, and he's not turning them towards my Horse Archers yet, which you would think he wants to do. Right now he's kind of focused here, so I bring my Light Cavalry in, and I'm going to smash into his Royal Peltist. This is just a light melee cav, so not going to really do a ton of damage, but just trying to kind of keep the Royal Peltist busy. Again, my Horse Archers are just kind of coming in and out, firing on this Royal Peltist with heavy shot. And slowly but surely they'll do the damage. Now here, my Thorax Swords engage, and on this flank, my general gets a very nice rear charge. So my men are engaged behind these Thorax Swords, and then I've got these Thorax Swords engaged from the front. So a bit of an outflanking maneuver here. Again, you can see my light cavalry harassing these royal peltasts. And then again over here, just horse archers generally harassing the enemy army. You can see some dead horsemen and royal peltasts on the ground. And now my heavy cavalry on my left flank is moving around. Just again, general engagement here. You can see I was able to achieve an envelopment. I am weak in the center, but my opponent lacks any offensive capability there other than this royal peltast, which he has not yet moved into combat. And so it's getting caught by my thorax swords. But yeah, you can see at this point, my light cavalry are going to move in and start tying down his Syrian archers. So this is going to be one of the main reasons why I brought these guys. Just if I outnumbered my opponent with cavalry, I could use the light cavalry to strike some decisive blows while his heavier cavalry was busy. Going to outflank the silver shield pikemen. It's obviously the best way to deal with pikes. And then my heavy cavalry is moving around over here as well, all my Bactrian noble horse. And it's now should have some targets in here. I think the Syrian archers are becoming free. The enemy royal peltasts are chasing my men a little bit. But my horse archers are just absolutely laying waste to him. And then here comes the Bactrian noble horse into the soft, squishy center of my opponent's army. So we're going to see them do some nice work here. So again, some of the advantages that Baktria would have over the Seleucids would be the horse archers, the Bactrian noble horse, and the Seleucids, honestly, I mean, I'm guessing maybe chariots or something like that would be their advantage. You can see at this point my opponent's getting just beaten down in almost every engagement. His silver shield pikes were not able to fight from both sides at once, so they end up getting cut down by what would have been an inferior unit. And then here in the center, again, my pikes were just a distraction, and distract him they did. So it worked out nice for me. Some of my cavalry is actually trying to get out of his pikes right now from chasing his archers. Again, these levy pikemen just acted as a distraction, and they've done very well. So at this point, the Seleucid army is pretty well wrapped up. I'm going to send a pike unit out of phalanx mode to chase these Syrian archers away. Just get them out of the way at the moment, and then the rest of my silver shield swordsmen are going to hurl their javelins and then charge into the back of these guys. And then it looks like I have another reinforcing unit coming from behind too into the silver shield swordsman. Over here, I've got my Bactrian noble horse all lined up. There is one royal peltast unit that's still out here in the woods, so I'm going to split up. And while he was engaged elsewhere, my Bactrian noble horse are going to crush the royal peltast from this side. And royal peltasts don't particularly like fighting heavy cavalry. I mean, they're not terrible, but they are a little bit lighter than your typical unit, and it tends to have massive damage inflicted to them by heavy cavalry units on the charge. And so here comes the coup de grace here for these royal peltasts. They get pinned in between Bactrian noble horsemen, and these guys are going to die. So we'll watch these brave royal peltasts fight to the death. Anyway, so key mistakes here, I think, for my opponent with the Seleucids. It's okay to bring some elite units. I mean, like royal peltasts and stuff. Silver shield pikes are a mistake. Even in Blade's balance mod, I would usually say that silver shield pikes would be a mistake. It's just very difficult to get elite pikes to pay off. So that was a critical error. And then just having no answer to potential horse archers from Baktria is also a critical error, and it's going to lead to defeat. So just be aware of those things. If you're going to play these successor state battles, remember that Baktria is going to play in a little bit differently because of their ability to field horse archers, and it can be a big pain if you are just playing as one of the states who doesn't. So what's a good counter to unarmored horse archers like this? Slingers would be the best counter. They outrange them, they fire quickly, and it's harder for the horses to outrun the stones. So Eastern slingers would have been a good choice to help keep these guys in check. However, had Baktria fielded elephants, the slingers would not have been ideal. But basically coming to the battle with at least a couple of cheap javelin units like a hillman or a thurio spear or something just to slow the elephants down typically does it. But again, you can see that my opponent ends up spending too much on too few units. He gets outnumbered, and then I was able to defeat him, though I do appreciate him joining the game. I did have a fun time. Hopefully you all learned from it. It's interesting that after all this time, I still find myself very much enjoying playing Rome 2, and I hope you all do as well. I will see you back on the next Rome 2 commentary battle. HeirofCarthage signing out.